And hello, this is Robert John here, also known as Robert Wilkinson, and I want to welcome you to really the very first, the very real episode of Aureus Plan. You need a website? Check out witty.site, where they build websites simple and quick. Your website could be up and running today. So check them out today. You might be very surprised at what they can do for you. Anyway, this particular episode is going to talk about what Aureus Plan represents. And for me, it is a group, it's a set of ideas that I've cobbled together after several years of assisting people in an attempt to help them get their lives back together. So I have been involved in alcohol and drug rehabilitation for individuals who have had extreme levels of addiction. And with that, through many of my observations, and not even it alone, just alone in the program that I help to run, but also in my life, I've been able to observe the actions and behaviors of human beings, including myself, in a way that has allowed me to come up with a list. Now, this list is not a comprehensive one. It is 5 points that I use to gauge myself and other individuals. This is the way I choose to approach assisting people. And I find it extremely useful. If any of you are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I would say that it kind of fills some of the gaps between those layers or those bricks. And so, if you don't know about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I would want you to go do a Google search, do an internet search, and check up on it. So, what is Aureus Plan? Well, Aureus is a Italian word, Latin word, actually, and it simply means golden. And so the idea for this channel is for people to recognize the importance of planning. And if you're planning, your plan should be a golden one. Now, I have a set of plans that are currently in motion for me. These are projects that I have either if established or I'm establishing, and I am planning a future, a very positive future for myself and for those around me. And these things, my plans, are based on these ideas. So these, in my opinion, are the makeups of individuals. Now, again, not a comprehensive list, and if anything, it is it's quite sparse, but it is the beginning of something. So if you take on board what it is I'm trying to convey here, you would hopefully have some level of appreciation for the point I'm trying to make. Anyway, so if we were to consider the fact that we are made up of things, and this list represents maybe five of those things, which is not a complete recipe, and so we have an emotional existence. You know, we have a state where we can be happy, sad, joyful, blasé. We can be in any condition that we desire to be. You know, in the best of times, in the worst of times, we can be something that can really motivate us or demotivate us. And so it is important for us to always consider our emotional state with most of our decision making, most of our choices in life, even when we know we're down and we're feeling down and out. Well, what is it that you can do to pull yourself out? So pull yourself up. So if you can find these areas where you can be motivated, where you're able to configure your emotional state, then that is a very useful thing. We have an academic side to ourselves. This is really, it's approaching the idea that we are intelligent human beings. We like to solve problems. We should always be looking to solve problems. Now we have so many different types of problems in our lives, and some of them are the ones we create for ourselves, and those can be fun. Those can be provide us with a measure of joy. That could be shaped like either your hobby or your employment. Um, we need to solve problems. We need to take on challenges, utilize our brains. All right, so we should never stop learning. This is life should be a constant effort in learning. Your academic side is something you should truly pay attention to. If you do not, you will lose some of the facilities that you have been given. All right, next up is your athletic side, and which is really your physical embodiment. And these, we can do pretty much nothing without this. There are some who can be very useful, simply based on the use of the brain. But if they have the diminished capacity of the use of their bodies, that becomes so much more difficult. But I do consider the idea that each and everything we do, we need to be healthy. We need to be physically fit. We should be physically fit. We let ourselves down in the modern society with poor dietary choices. I mean, over lockdown, I actually gained 20 pounds, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I felt absolutely horrible up until 2 weeks ago when I decided to make significant changes, and I have started on a fast and a heavy exercise regime to get my body back into something that makes me feel far more useful. So your physical side, we have to use it to accomplish our goals in life. You need to get from point A to point B. You need to be able to get from the bed to the bathroom, to the kitchen, to out of the door to work. These are the things we must do. So we must maintain ourselves in the best way that we can. I recognize the need for feasting, and I also recognize the need for fasting. So there are many people who ignore that equation, that once you feast and you overeat, there's a time when you should fast and actually undereat. Okay? Next is your artistic or creative self. Well, this encapsulates all of that emotional, academic, and athletic stuff, because you take this stuff together, and at the artistic level or creative level, you can do things that will make people say, wow. You should make yourself say, wow, day in, day out. Each morning when you wake up, there should be a special ambition to live an excellent day, the most excellent day that you could possibly live. So artistic selves, they're so important to us. And when I read about certain education programs where they have abandoned art programs, where where art history is no longer considered, where exploration, like going to the museums or to the galleries, or even just out into the fields to explore and to recognize that we are attached to this very beautiful expanse, both God made and man made. If you really get into how beautiful things can be, and in some ways you can discover the beauty in things that are less pretty to look at, less desirable. I see beauty in most things. So I have my tinted glasses, my rose glasses on, tinted rose glasses, something like that. Anyway, last but definitely not least, it needs to be, I think, a consideration for our spiritual sides as our intentions to get through life. We need to be more humble. We need to understand that our fellow men and women, that that's somehow connected to us. Now, I'm not going to get into all the fine points of different religions. I'm not going to do that here. This is not the space or place for that. But I truly believe that through our connections to one another, which I consider to be a spiritual one, if we do not take time out to find ways to meditate, to find ways to ruminate, to think about how it is we can help and assist others, because we are indeed connected. You know, your strength is my strength, and your weakness and my weakness is your weakness, is your weakness is my weakness. It's these things, they are not independent of one another. We are not independent of one another. You know, and we had many examples in history, sadly, where people actually lost sight of the spiritual element to their existence, and that has led to horrors. Anyway, so those are the my 5 tenets right now, and I might be able to add something or take something away. Who knows in the future? Most likely add something. But I want you to consider these things. My goal with this channel is to help you to plan, and to help me to plan. So I'm going to share with you how it is that I tackle my state of emotional being. I want to share with you how important it is to keep your mind engaged, to keep your academic self fully engaged. Your athletic or physical self must be maintained, to lead a healthy life. My goal is to die healthy. I want to die from old age, but as a healthy man. My creative side, these things I can use to make people smile, to make people laugh, to make people sad. I can use it to make money. I can use it to generate wealth for myself or generate wealth for others. There's so much to be said about the artistic side, which again encapsulates the emotional, academic, athletic side, and then also the spiritual side of my belief system. Whereas, I just want to encourage people to just to begin to meditate, because that'll take you to deeper levels and higher planes. And these things need to be visited, in my opinion. Anyway, friends, I want to thank you for joining me. It's again, if you need a website, visit ziddy.site. That's the sponsor for today's episode. Hit the like button or subscribe button below or above, depending which platform you're watching this on. And I want to thank you for joining me today. Stay tuned for future programs. Take care, and I will see you soon, this same channel. Goodbye, guys. Be your best. Visit AureusPlan.com today. If you need quality Forex and index trading signals, Aureus Plan is the company for you. Just go on there, fill out the form, and get signed up. Let's make money. Visit AureusPlan.com.